thank you so much for being here this morning. Let us begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'd like to ask Captain John Cochran, Councilman Cochran, to please lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I really appreciate everyone being here, and many of the elected officials responded, and sent representatives if they weren't able to be here, so I thank them for that. And I did see Legislator Steve Flatteren, who took the time to be here himself, so we appreciate that. Thank you so much, Steve. I'd like to begin by thanking my colleagues on the town board. Council members John Cochran, Jim O'Connor, who unfortunately could not be here today, Jorge Guadron, and John Lorenzo, as well as our town clerk, Olga Murray, and our receiver of taxes, Andy Whitman. Together with your partnership and support and the hard work of our dedicated commissioners and staff, we work to make Islip a stronger, healthier, and a more vibrant place to live and call home. Let's give them all a round of applause, and our commissioners. A home, that's really what is at the heart of all of this. The idea of home is what drives us. Rather than say home is where the heart is, perhaps it is better to say that home is where the hope is. The hope for a stronger, more vibrant future, and the plans to make it so. And in that way, let me tell you, there is no place like Islip. Not long ago, I had the opportunity to meet with 50 bright students from the West Islip High School Technology Department at CPI Aero, an engineering and manufacturing giant right here in the heart of Brentwood at the Heartland Industrial Park. And with us today is Robert Asaldi, right here in the front, who is the Director of Manufacturing Operations and Facility Maintenance at CPI. And he's bringing greetings from his CEO, Durith Hakim, who unfortunately is traveling on business and couldn't be here. But Rob, thanks for that invitation. That facility, CPI's facility with a workforce of over 300 skilled employees, is an example of how manufacturing jobs are alive on Long Island, right here in our town. But there was something else at that meeting that morning that really caught my attention. On the back of every student's t-shirt was the phrase, "Manufacture your future." Going beyond a clever bit of branding, among those words, "manufacture your future," on the back of those kids stayed in my mind. It stayed in my mind as a promise, the promise that we all make to the next generation. This freedom to craft one's own future is the American dream. And what is the role of government if not to help those it serves to realize that dream? When I first began here, I set out on a path to manufacture not just my own future as the first woman supervisor in the town of Islip, but to help secure a more vibrant future for this town. Today, Islip is a strong, thriving community that has kept its small town charm. Our town is the ideal place to grow up, go to school, find a job, start a family, make your home, and manufacture your future. Through careful planning, public, private, and municipal partnerships, we are at work on the manufacturing floor, so to speak, to craft a stronger Islip and to build a better home for all. That is why in 2023, we've begun the process for the creation of a new town comprehensive plan, a long-term policy plan that outlines our future goals and objectives in critical areas like housing, the environment, and job creation. It's been 46 years since the last comprehensive plan was adopted, but today's world is far different than it was in 1977. Our town has expanded, so we will revisit the visions of yesterday and look through the broader lens of equity and resilience, get to work to foster smart and sustainable development that will set the stage for growth for decades to come. And we're not doing this alone. The creation of a new town comprehensive plan will be an opportunity for our residents, our stakeholders, elected officials, and planning professionals alike to come together to develop a shared vision for our town's growth. Together, we'll address the shared critical issues of housing, climate change, and traffic. We will incorporate best practices for future community land use policies and decisions. It will be a collaborative process with meaningful public participation. This is what home rule is all about. The autonomy to best govern for the people, by the people who know their hometown best, the people for whom this town is home. Home rule is local government listening to, even when they call on the phone, and responding to our local residents. Our local laws exist to protect and ensure your quality of life. When we build, it's to enhance our town's future. When we restrict building, it's for that very same reason. Our planning, zoning, and building laws do not exist in order to deny what could be. They protect us from the one-size-fits-all policies that right now are being pushed down from Albany. Our local laws exist to ensure that what should be is smartly implemented and decided on by the people whose lives these laws affect. That is how government was created to work, and that is how we must steadfastly continue to ensure that ours does. Let me be clear. While I respect the governor's goals, I am firmly opposed to any state mandates restricting our town's ability to control the pace and density of new housing development in our town. The community knows this firsthand. Our community recently shared the power of their voices regarding a zoning change that would have created a major residential apartment complex on the closed 114-acre parcel known as Island Hills Golf Course in Sayville. Plans were drawn, meetings were held. You spoke, we listened. And when the people's voice rang out that such developments did not fit our community, we voted with local government listening to and responding to our residents. However, we are not deaf to the need of more housing. While the state has seen an exodus of 1.58% of its population, Suffolk County has seen a population increase of nearly 3%. According to the U.S. Census, Islip has grown by about 5,000 new residents, a growth percentage-wise what the state nearly lost. People really want to live in Islip. That is why we have gone to work to enable appropriate residential opportunities in communities where residents want to live and businesses come to thrive. Under our adaptive reuse strategies, Bayshore has seen a multitude of mixed-use transit-oriented development, projects that provide retail space to spur economic activity alongside community growth. Projects like 11 Maple Avenue, Park Avenue, Bayshore, and Main and 4th. These projects were approved years ago. And on the former Touro School of Health Sciences, which originally was the Suffolk County Mini Center, construction is underway, turning this site into a true transit-oriented development, a walkable community across from the train station, a county bus route right in front, and where our young workforce and empty nesters want to live. Bayshore Senior Housing on Mechanicsville has been completed, providing 75 affordable senior residences along with an 8,000 square foot community center. And that's just in Bayshore. In Central Islip on the former New York Tech campus, that has been transformed into a very, very desirable housing community. Construction of the Belmont at Eastview is underway, adding over 300 residential units on a portion of the 87 acres that was formerly Central Islip Mental Hospital and an abandoned college campus. This project is a smart, sustainable, green development utilizing existing structures, all of them, cutting down on demolition waste, minimizing emissions and local impact, at the same time preserving these historic buildings. Gullhaven Commons, sitting on 29 acres, is partially completed and will add another 290 plus residential options. And the Vesta project, known as the Aurora, is in pre-construction, adding another 130 units, preserving 3 historic cottages to house disabled veterans as well as some individuals on the autism spectrum. All 3 of these sites, previously in dangerous disrepair, are on parcels that was previously off the tax rolls. In Brentwood, at Knoll Farms, 180 residential units are in pre-construction, and in Oakdale, Greenview Commons, 158 senior residences are underway on the service road off Sunrise Highway. That's on what was an abandoned golf course driving range. In total, we have over 2,000 residential units in various stages of development across this great town, ranging from pre-construction to having their COs in hand. Islip is growing smartly, in conjunction with our civic groups, at a pace and in a direction that makes sense for our town's unique density and identity. That is home rule government, and we hold such decision-making in our town as very sacred and special. We manufacture our own future. In January, I joined with state senators, assembly members, and leaders across Long Island to stand up against Albany's overreaching proposals that, if implemented, would see Long Island communities transformed into the like of Queens or the city. This is not what the people of Islip want for their town. Albany has no business, and according to the New York State Constitution, no authority to decide such outcomes for our town or any other. I will continue to fight for Islip's ability to decide its own future, to plan, design, and build our own tomorrow, and keep the power of your voice in local government from being drowned out by Albany. And I hope you will join me. You know, we really can't back down on this. This commitment to maintain the quality of life for all of us who call Islip home. We have recognized the necessity to provide assistance and affordable housing to help maintain livelihoods in a challenging real estate market. Islip has a proud history of being at the forefront of smart, affordable housing. One needs to look no further than Carlton Park and Central Islip. Drug dealers once controlled the streets there. Police wouldn't even go in there without an escort. Our town has changed that. A new community, College Woods, 375 units of affordable homes, was created in the 90s and has been recognized on the floor of Congress. Children now play in safety on the same streets where gunfire once rang out. And because of the $10 million grant we secured under the Downtown Revitalization Initiative, Central Islip will soon see another exciting mixed-use project with retail, artist space, and office space that includes 100% affordable housing units. It's been awarded, and its developer's application is expected soon. We continue to work in close partnership with the Islip Community Development Agency to counter the barriers to the entry of home ownership. Through programs like Habitat for Humanity, the Long Island Housing Partnership, and many more, over 1,300 affordable homes have been sold in the community to date. The next housing lottery will be held here in the spring or summer of this year. This is the the power of homegrown solutions, the power of local government, local agencies, and private partnership. Our staff at the Islip CDA has continued to go above and beyond, working to meet the community's needs year after year, challenge after challenge. Following the difficulties of the recent pandemic, they administered the Emergency Rental Housing Assistance Program, dispersing millions in federal rental and utility relief to households in jeopardy. You know, and they did this with no drama. You know, there was a Newsday article and towns weren't, getting this done. They were doing it. The first round of ERAP assisted 522 clients, allocating over $9 million in federal funds. And round two has assisted over 400 clients, and they are still accepting application while the funding remains available. And while we will always look for ways to continue to provide assistance where and when it's needed, we understand that the key to a community's success is a strong, invigorated economy that supports innovation. That is why in my time as supervisor, we've closed on over 100 projects, representing over $1 billion in capital investment and more than 9,000 jobs. We're home now to more than 10,000 businesses, most of them small and along our bustling main streets and business corridors. And while we remain primarily residential, Islip has 4,200 acres zoned for industrial use, including the 52 acres of duty-free foreign trade zone sites. We continue to foster economic growth, attracting some of the largest names in the industries of healthcare, pharmaceutical, financial services, aerospace, food processing and manufacturing, and distribution. Companies like Water Lilies Food, a global commercial food manufacturer, last year expanded to our town, to the old Entenmann's Bakery in North Bayshore, bringing with them 300 new jobs. Or our two state-of-the-art hospitals, North Wales South Shore University Hospital and Catholic Health's Good Samaritan University Hospital, each with over 3,000 employees. We are so fortunate to have two nationally recognized healthcare institutions in our town. Our planning team recently worked alongside each of them to initiate major expansions that will increase our residents' access to some of the best that medicine has to offer. And in terms of job creation, it cannot be overstated how much of an asset our Long Island MacArthur Airport is, not just to the town of Islip, but to all of Long Island, generating over $777 million in positive economic impact and more than 6,000 jobs. Still, we believe in the power of our airport to go even further. Over the last 5 years, with the approval of the town board, the airport has invested over $90 million in capital improvements to ensure the integrity of its infrastructure while remaining financially self-sufficient. I'm proud to say that these policies have ensured that despite the ups and downs in the airline industry, Long Island MacArthur Airport, almost universally cherished by our residents, continues to operate at zero cost to our taxpayers. We're pleased to announce our newest partnership at the airport, Breeze Airways. They're adding 2 new nonstop destinations this May with seasonal flights to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania and Richmond, Virginia. And after many years of discussion, the time has finally come that this great asset evolves into a real transportation hub. Efforts have begun to make the North Terminal a reality, relocating the terminal adjacent to the Ronkonkoma rail station. And this is an idea that isn't new, it's been talked about for over 50 years. The proposed Midway Crossing development could enhance our island's intellectual corridor with a life sciences center and provide jobs in cutting-edge medical technology, STEM, retail, hospitality, travel, and entertainment, all right here in the town of Islip. Talk about manufacturing the future. This is one of the most significant and innovative projects the Long Island region has considered in decades. with the potential to position Long Island nationally as a life sciences hub, as well as inject billions of dollars annually into the economic region and providing the kind of high-paying jobs that our young people have been educated to take going forward into the future. A lot of the infrastructure needs must be addressed, however, before any of this can happen. And we continue to lobby our partners in Washington and Albany for those much-needed infrastructure dollars, because we know that area around the airport really needs attention. While these impactful development projects mean construction jobs in the interim and long-term permanent jobs as the communities prosper, we recognize that the lifeblood of our community remains its small businesses, whom not only help to give our downtowns their charming identity, but are the core component of Islip's hometown feel. That is why we continue to work with local chambers and community groups to assist and promote our small businesses. And in recent years, when times were tough, we got to work allocating Federal American Rescue Plan Act dollars to generate the Keep Islip Thriving, or the KIT grant program. Through KIT, we put this federal funding directly into the hands of the businesses who needed it most. Over 350 small businesses and not-for-profits have since participated in the program, receiving grants of up to $5,000. And I'm pleased to report the program is still underway. So if you know of anybody, please encourage them to apply. And because we understand that every little bit helps, this town board recently passed a resolution unanimously to extend outdoor dining permits through January of '24, allowing local businesses to continue to capture all of the added benefits of outdoor seating. We are committed to bringing support at the ground level, change you can see and feel in your community. At Roberto Clemente Park, we continue fulfilling our promise to the community to create a beautiful park that sits proudly as a gem in Brentwood, and indeed for all of Islip. The park now features refurbished soccer and basketball play areas, a pristine Olympic-sized swimming pool, as well as a state-of-the-art spray park. And coming shortly, we will unveil our plaza-style skateboard park, which includes rails, ramps, steps, and quarter pipes, designed by the same firm responsible for Tony Hawk's own backyard skateboard area. There's also exciting work happening right now at Ross Park. Once an open-air drug market, working cooperatively with the Suffolk County Police Department, we put an end to all the illegal activity going on there, and we are transforming the park into another treasure. A new parking lot has already been built, and through state funding secured by Assemblyman Phil Ramos, further renovations will include a new walkway, lighting structures, playground, picnic and game tables, benches, and a stage for the performing arts. Also, enhanced security measures will be added to continue to ensure park safety. Looking a little further east, we're at work right now at Byron Lake Park in Oakdale. Renovations to the park and the pool have unfortunately been neglected for many decades, but not on our watch. When finished, Byron Lake will feature a new state-of-the-art pool area, complete with a zero-entry pool, slide, and kiddie pool with a spray pad, and a totally renovated concession area, improved accessibility, and even the lake itself will get the attention it needs. The park will be an asset for you and all your families for years to come. And these are just a few of the examples of the many improvements happening throughout our town. Our Parks Department is hard at work bringing the very changes you want to see for your community, changes you've asked for. That is why, in addition to the 2 dedicated courts in Ronkonkoma, we're continuing to assess locations across the town where we can accommodate the skyrocketing demand, you guessed it, for pickleball. We now have dual-striped courts at Casamento in West Islip, Town Hall West in Islip, as well as Foster Avenue Park in Sayville. We're also in the final stages of court expansion at the Holbrook Country Club, where the original 4 tennis courts have been transformed into 3 dedicated courts for pickleball and 3 for tennis. This project is underway, and we hope to have it completed in time for the '23 season. Later this spring, work will hopefully begin on the complete renovation of the Broadway Avenue courts in Sayville, transforming the original design to accommodate 6 new pickleball courts in addition to 4 tennis courts. And further south at Sayville Marina Park, we're putting the finishing touches on the new inclusive play area, replacing a playground that's over 30 years old. The new playground will feature rubberized safety surfaces, a wheelchair-accessible swing, ramps, music features, climbing areas, slides, and so much more. God bless you. And because the water is so tied to many of our residents' livelihoods, we've been at work to improve our waterways. In Sayville, work is finally underway to dredge Browns River East and Browns River West marinas. This project will be completed in time for the '23 boating season and will enhance access to the 167 boat slips, many of which had become obscured by silt and debris. At the West Islip Marina, we've received an emergency permit to begin dredging where it's been difficult for our boaters to navigate. This will be the first step in the larger West Islip Marina renovation, which will include west side bulkheading rehab of the boat ramp as well as dredging. This project, among other improvements, too, has been very, very long overdue. As a town bordering on the coast, we understand how tied to everyday life our waterways and beaches are. We've made it our priority as good stewards of the environment to care for, protect, and improve one of our strongest environmental assets, the Great South Bay. Through our DEC's Bay Bottom licensing program, we've partnered with local entrepreneurs to spur shellfish cultivation of the legendary Blue Point oyster population. In years past, hurricanes, pollution, and overharvesting have challenged their number. It amazes me each time I hear it that one adult oyster alone can filter up to 50 gallons of water. And through our program, millions of oysters have been cultivated each year. We've been at work partnering with local farmers, the marine community, engineers, and New York State to pave the way for the next phase of the program, which I'm pleased to share was approved last year. In 2020, the New York State DEC reported our single town program is responsible for 20% of the total shellfish farming production in the entire state. Phase 3 will take our Bay Bottom program from 125 acres, generating millions of oysters yearly, to over 1,300 acres, solidifying our commitment to preserving our beloved environment to new heights and depths. If you'd like to learn more, we've recently completed production of our original documentary, The Blue Point Oyster. This short documentary is available on our website and YouTube channel and will hit some of the local film festivals this spring. Speaking of films, new episodes of Get Fit with Nick are also coming this spring. The wildly popular Senior Workout Series airs every day on our public access Channel 18 and Channel 1982 on Verizon. So you can keep those bodies in motion, moving forward in step with our town. There is so much happening across Islip of which we are so proud, with much more coming that we can't wait to share. Sometimes the development the community needs is manufactured on the individual level, person to person. From our town board student and heritage recognitions, our toy and coat drives, street renamings, memorial ceremonies, to our popular drive-in movie nights, holiday movies and festivals like Seafest and Applefest, we continue to invest in, create, and offer programs to engage, support, and improve the quality of life for all of our residents, and of course our seniors at our popular 6 senior centers. And we're proud of our numerous volunteer boards. So many of you are here today that partner with community members and leaders within our town for these very same goals. Boards like our Veterans Advisory Board, Disability Advisory, Substance Abuse and Opioid Task Force, Airport Advisory, Parks Foundation, Youth Advisory, Economic Development Commission, as well as our Business Advisory Board. Through your continued hard work, these dedicated members meet to address the concerns of health, safety, and the continued economic and social welfare of the people of this great community, and together work to stimulate meaningful change. Thank you. We take this commitment to the individual very seriously. That means smart and responsible stewardship of the government on each individual's behalf. It means that each taxpayer dollar spent is done with the utmost fiscal responsibility. It means individual safety is our priority, and it means that each resident has access to the programs and services they need when they need it. In my 8 years as supervisor, after successfully getting our bond rating upgraded to AAA with a stable outlook, our town has received 7 consecutive such ratings, the highest possible. This is thanks to our zero-based budgeting, assuring that no projects move forward unless they are deemed truly essential. Regarding safety, we've recruited the personnel with the skills, resources, and training to develop our own in-house Peace Officer Training Academy, now certified by the state's Division of Criminal Justice Services. Our Public Safety Division receives and dispatches constituent complaints 24/7, 365 days a year, and is more trained and equipped than ever before to respond to your needs, including our latest edition of bike patrols. And thanks to the security-keeping measures of our dedicated IT department and all town employees who rose to the occasion to work through the temporary downtime, not a single service was postponed or delayed when we suffered a cyber attack Thanksgiving weekend. If that's news to you, it's because it was a blink-and-you-missed-it affair, thanks to the safety protocols we've installed to keep this town ever moving forward. If recent events have taught us anything, and hopefully they have, such attacks are not to be taken lightly and can prove immensely time-consuming, wasteful, and very costly, but not in Islip. Our town is strong. And the true strength of a home are the people who make it so. Our community's greatest strengths are the rich and diverse backgrounds of all our residents. We celebrate this and the unique character of each individual to whom we owe such strength. After a forced pandemic hiatus, we rebranded our Anti-Bias Task Force in 2022 to the Town of Islip Unity Council, now comprised of community leaders from many backgrounds across our town. Religious leaders, school officials, hospital officials, nonprofit directors, as well as educated members of the education community, elected officials, they've all come together to share this common vision of unity. Last year, the council held its inaugural event on Holocaust Remembrance Day, listening to the moving words of Holocaust survivor Edith Gross, a resident of our town. She shared an incredibly inspiring message against intolerance and injustice. This past January, we restated our commitment to the principles of inclusivity, diversity, equity, and accessibility, welcoming representatives from different religious groups, civic groups, and veterans organizations, as well as our hospitals, in a ceremony honoring this combined spirit of unity, especially at a time when we find ourselves too often surrounded by divisiveness. I'm proud to say that hundreds turned out that morning for the celebration, inspiring the hope of change where there is hope of thought, because it is together, and together only, that we will build a more unified tomorrow. It is that freedom to craft one's own future that lies at the core of the American dream. So again, I ask, what is the role of government if not to help those it serves realize that dream? We continue today working from those foundations of yesterday to reaffirm our commitment that will support our tomorrow. Through our partnerships together, we will manufacture the future of which we all dream. Islip, your hometown, our home. When When I was sworn in 8 years ago today, I vowed, working together with all of you, to change the direction of our town, to improve our financials, clean up our parks, preserve our environment, and build for the future. We are, all of us here, so excited to carry the future of this town further into prosperity and invite all of you to join us, help us finish what we started. We have come far, but in many regards, we're just getting started. You might even say we're cooking with gas, and that's a little pun. May God continue to bless our town, this great country, and all of you, and bring peace to all of us. Thank you so much for being here.